As 2, this is our hip thrust. Hands behind our back, shoulder blades pulled back. We're going for single leg here. So we'll pull one knee up to our chest, other leg comes up, it's 10. 9, then we'll do 10 on the other side. Full squeeze, extend the hip. This should not be as hard. We're getting that little bit of extra work in, but we'll get a little rest here before we get back up for those deadlifts. So this is kind of your active rest. If you don't like this version of the hip thrust, you can lean back on your couch, on a chair, on a bench. Rest. Or you can do a regular grounded bridge with your back on the ground. All right, we're back up. Walking it out, and we have a nice rest after this. We'll come back full force. If you're doing more hip thrusts, keep finishing them. I know they're hard. They feel different for everyone. And rest. So everyone rests here no matter what. So now we get it, right? We're going 2 minutes on for this round, which means those 2 minutes, there's not any added rest. I'm adding the rest after because I want you to go pretty heavy with your deadlifts. I want that 10 reps to feel tough. So right now is where you could add more weight if you needed to, because we're doing this class together. We're not gonna have all that extra time, and we're going to just put more intensity into it. So make sure you're ready for those sumo deadlifts. Just as a refresher, when we do our sumo deadlift, it's not just like a sumo squat where we come all the way up in the chest. We actually pitch our hips back. Kind of imagine you're going on an escalator with your hips, pushing them back in space, trying to keep the shin pretty vertical. Legs are only as wide as you can control, right? We don't want them super narrow because we still want to push out with the glutes. And when we rise up from the ground, we really think about the glutes pulling us up by pushing the ground away. All right, we're gonna get those 10 reps again here. Shoulders locked, core locked. Let's do it. Nice big squeeze there. Eye on the prize. This is not about speed. This is about 10 gorgeous controlled reps. You know what to expect now. Getting that nice big squeeze at the top and at the bottom. We are doing this in an EMOM format, but we want the weightlifting portion to be tough, so we can really start to build that power. That's it for me. 10 reps. You've got yours going there. Taking a little seat. Getting ready for what is next. Nice work, Monica. Yes, Katie, Natasha, Jen, man. Okay, some of us are going a little further. I see you, but chill out. Hands behind. Let's go for hip thrusts a little slower this time. We lift up, hold, drop down, hold. Full extension, opening the chest, really pushing that hip up, but keeping the hips as even as you can. So as that hip goes up, we're trying to make that straight line. Tucking, driving. Oh, it's getting hard. Last one on this leg for me. This is all you, all you. Remember, you can do this with your back on the ground as well. And we do have that minute rest coming up. Boom. This is my hip that likes to rotate a lot. So I have to really focus on pushing through my whole foot and making sure my hip's not rotating in or rotating out to get out of the work. This is my last one. Boom. Amazing. We got that minute to rest. So obviously went slower on that one on the hip thrust because I had a good idea about what I could do. The beauty of working out this way is not only does it help you start to determine what weight you can move powerfully and in a certain amount of time, but also what you can add onto it that I could still come back and do these next 10 with intensity. Now, because we are doing this pretty quick and this is the first time doing it together, the next time you do it, you may change these weights quite a bit. You might go a little bit heavier, right? You might say, okay, I want those 10 to really hit me the first time. But this stuff does build, and even a minute of rest isn't enough when you're doing this kind of weightlifting. So just keep that in mind. You might have the energy to do it in the moment, but we also need the recovery to build that muscle. So we're gonna finish off with this last round of these sumo deadlifts, and then we'll switch it up the next round, okay? Big deep breath. Lock it in before you move, and let's go. pulling the shoulder blades down the back, pulling them out to support the ribs. Really being careful at that bottom position not to lose control, not to lose that focus and brace. That's when I usually do it, right? When you get to that pause, it would be easy to let the ribs go, to relax the shoulders. Really trying to push with both heels, use both glutes. And that is it.
Oh.
Gonna try to bring it out on these hip thrusts. Because I know after this, we're gonna move on. Enjoying my break. Let these little glutes breathe for a moment. This one can be tough, but it's really good for stretching, opening the shoulders, and building some arm strength. So fingertips out to the sides if you got it. Push up and down. At this top position, I've got my glutes really kind of squeezing and tucking up. I'm pushing through that whole foot, and I'm trying to really mentally focus on that leg, fully extending, that hip fully extending, and the glute fully squeezing, but not letting this other leg go lazy, right? Not letting it just pull me down. Last one, boom. And that same position on the other leg. First one's always a little funky, and we go for it. Arms are burning a little. That's an added treat. Big squeeze. For me, it helps to keep my eyes on my thighs. That keeps me from going too far back in my chest and letting my ribs flare. That's one of my big problems. Holy moly. Last one. Ooh. I'm sure to sneak up on you, my friends. Okay. Round two. How do we feel? Sick. Y'all did good. I'm seeing the numbers. I see a couple of you got to that 12, 13, but I'm not mad at you. This is a tough way to work out, especially when your brain goes, I want you to just do more. There's more time on the timer. I know it's tough, but it's really important to try to work out this way. Not just for fun, for competition, but it's starting to again teach you to self-coach, to know what that number actually means, what that weight actually means for you. There's a lot of times we do want to do more, right? Of course, but there's a lot of times we want to do a certain amount and then get better at that amount, so we can start to see how progress is really being made. Now this round does have a little bit of cardio in it. I've got 2 weights set up here because I only need one for this section. So I'm giving myself a little lighter one right here and a heavier one here. So if I decide that I need to drop down, I have that option, okay? It's always nice with goblet rounds. For this round, we're going to do our goblet narrow stance squat. We're doing 10 of these, okay? So toes forward. This one looks a lot like this, right? We go down, we stay narrow, we really work our quads. We try to keep those legs close, not this close, but we keep them like we're squeezing a pillow between our inner thighs. Then we'll move on to our dumbbell swings right after. We only need to do 15 of those, 12, 15, 15. And then we'll finish with our speed skater lunges, which is this type of lunge. Now, if you don't want to jump today, that's totally fine. I'm going to have you do a big step, and then you're going to hover that leg back. Big step, hover. Big step, hover. You're still going to get a little bit of that heart rate up, but you're not going to have to quite jump, so keep it safe. If that even feels yuck for you, then just give me some curtsy lunges center, and all will be well. Let's go through this together. Oh, I'm going to start heavier because that's what I should do. Okay, shoulders back, let's go. Tap it down. And reach, good. Take your time. I love a double pause on these. So you're really making sure you're finding that bottom position. And then come on all the way up, squeezing those glutes, wrapping the core, pulling the ribs back. You've got your timers. You've got your rep counting. I don't. So follow you. Ooh. We're pushing for that depth on these, but I know it's harder with your narrow stance. So you give yourself some grace. Go as far as you can with control. And that's going to be it for me, setting the feet down. You rest when you need to rest, and you go right into those dumbbell swings. You're still moving, but for that dumbbell swing, just remember you want your hips back, you want your hands on that weight in front of you. You're going to hike the weight back and let your hips drop forward. You start right now. Go for it. 15 reps, please. Just wanted to get you a little preview there. letting that weight almost just bang you in the butt, and then immediately pressing through the heels, tucking the hips, wrapping the core, and thrusting those hips forward. If I took a little snapshot of you, when you stand tall, your arms would be slightly bent. They would not come above your shoulders. Your hips would be tucked, and your abs would look fire. I've got 3 more here. Always let the weight take you forward. Try not to stop it behind you. Ooh, out of breath. And we'll get to it. I love a dumbbell swing. Not only is it great for power, it is good for building up strength in the hips, especially extending and contracting. Ooh, good for overall strength. All right, we're moving into our speed skater. Again, you have options. You're gonna do 20 speed skaters. Let's go. Now I'm going a little bit more for how far I can jump the legs. That gives me something to focus on. I'm not really worried about going faster at this point. Not really competing in anything, but I do like the idea of being more powerful and being more athletic. And to me, that means jumping higher, jumping further at this moment, yeah? Almost there. Nice work. Ooh, and wherever you are, you finish. We do have a minute to rest after this, giving ourselves just enough time to get that heart rate all the way down and begin again. Everyone rests now. Wonderful. Try to slow down that breathing. Get yourself back in your body. It's hard work, yeah? Now, this is why, sorry to get Italian, this is why we don't want to overdo it in round 1 in these classes. I do it too. I get so excited. I go, I'll go heavier. I'll do more. And then I forget there might be some treasures at the end of the class, in the middle of the class, you know? So you want to give yourself some time to ease into it. Maybe just feel the workout instead of letting the workout take over. All right, we got 15 seconds. We do it again. Goblets. We're going 10 reps. 10 to 12, okay? You can do 12. I'll allow 12. 10 to 12. And then we're going right into that swing. But I guess I need my weight to do it. Let's go for it, friends. Toes forward. Don't start until you're ready. Boom. Another beautiful part of EMOMs is you get to start when you're ready, right? Because you know you've got that little bit of time at the end. So if you want to give yourself a little less time in the beginning, you're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. Sit those hips back. Try to get to that parallel. It's different for all of us, right? And this one's tough on the ankles. If you have ankle mobility you need to work on, this one's going to feel tough. So just know that. You're working within your range right now.
I'm done.
And
Done for today.
a few more seconds to finish. Then we go right into those swings. I'm going to set my weight up so I don't have to think about it. Especially with swings, I want you to have yourself in a good place and feel ready. We don't want to do swings with bad form. We just don't want to. We don't want to do anything with bad form. So let's not do swings, yeah? Tap, that top position. Soften in the arms. Glute squeeze. Core stays in. Don't let the ribs dump. Don't let the belly dump. Keep the shoulders tighten back. Keep that control the entire way. You rest when you have to rest. I know we're hitting those 15 reps, but if you stop at 10 because that's what's right for you, then that's way better than getting 15 bad reps or 15 reps that make you not trust your body. Oh, that's it. Last one. Yeah. I don't think we talk about that enough. If your body's telling you something and you don't listen, you're going to start not trusting your body. Your body's going to start not trusting you. If your body tells you pain, take a break, take it seriously, okay? Speed skaters, we're going for 20, yeah? 20 feels right. We're good. We're happy. Again, I'm going for distance here. She's going for speed. Whatever your goal is today, you go for it. These can look a little different for everyone, but we want to go for that stop balance. Stop balance. That's so good for the legs, right? For real life. Opposite arm is going to help you balance a little more. We only have one more round after this. Boom. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Not much to say. You feel me? We're speaking with vibes again. We'll see if I can keep my voice through the rest of this thing. We have a full minute of pure quality rest. Right now, take your 60 seconds. Put yourself situated. I'm gonna stick to the weight I started with. I feel good about it. I feel hard. It feels hard. But it feels hard and doable. It doesn't feel hard and scary or painful, right? Those are things we gotta think about too. When you first start exercising, and I know most of you have been with us for a while, if you're taking my classes, you know, these classes are generally intermediate, advanced. I don't give as much technical advice in these classes specifically, right? But when you're first starting to exercise, it can be very, very hard to access if something is painful or if it's uncomfortable. It takes a while, right? So at first we have to just acknowledge that we're getting all these signals, and if something's pinching or numb, we put that in the pain pile and we stop, okay? Let's go for a last round here. Let's hit it. If you feel dizzy or woozy, we put that in the pain pile, right? But if it feels a little burny, feels a little tight, if it feels hard, it's definitely in the uncomfortable pile, and that's where we have to start living. So we have to start making a little apartment for ourselves. We just vacation there, you know? I don't want to stay there all the time. All right. Oh my goodness. We're getting there. Driving those hips back, keeping those legs steady. That invisible pillow in between the thighs, keeping everything at perfect distance. Can't go too far because I still have to do my swings. Now my lower back gets tight real quick. It's part of my life. So I always want to make sure I'm kind of resetting in between, letting my body know I don't have to hold all the tension there. I can let it go. Getting into my swing, that football position, right, that center position. Reach those shoulders back, tap your own booty, 15 beautiful reps. Swing, you are a human pendulum here. Boom, boom. Every rep is exactly the same speed. If you start slowing down, that's a good indication we're getting a little too tired, okay? Core tight, ribs in, shoulders back. Move that inner arm or that inner corset on. Boom. Lock in. We're together. 3 more. 2. 1. Holy moly. Okay. Finishing the speed skaters. Ooh, ooh, ooh. This is so much fun. Having so much fun. Speed skaters. Get my mind right. If you're swinging, keep swinging. If you're swinging, swing it out. For 2 and 1. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm loving these numbers, my friends, jewels. All right, speed skaters. Whatever works for you, right? Are you curtsying? Are you speeding? All right, swingers. I see some people up to 25 here. I'm not mad at those numbers, right? I love to see them. Love to see us pushing ourselves. But that was not the name of the game today. Push. Sometimes workouts are about control. Boom. Getting just enough volume, not too much. That's the beauty. That's where we sit with hypertrophy, with power training. And we don't move quite in to something looking a lot more like cardio. 2. Ooh. Not saying today it doesn't have cardio elements. It does, holy moly. Killer. Katie, Chili, absolutely insane. My friends, we are finishing with some gnarly bodyweight work. We're gonna stay on one side for 3 rounds of a clamshell variation. We're gonna start with our side plank variation. So you're gonna start on your side plank. Literally pull your knees in, drop your hip right down. This is where we'll be. We're just going to push, open this knee, come back down, drop the hip. Keep the shoulder open, keep the ribs open, keep this hip pulling down. 25 seconds. Here we go. We open, we drop that hip. Your hand can go either way, side, forward. And we're really working on this bottom hip, coming all the way forward, and then sitting all the way down. The knees are basically at a 90 degree in front of you. This top hip, it's more there for distraction, right? But it is there to get you to extend the hip a little bit more. Nice work, last one. Beautiful. All you're gonna do is drop that hip, now come down to the elbow. Amazing. Same exact thing here. Let's go. Big open and drop. So start feeling different, feeling harder. The last one we get to stay laying down, don't worry. Keep pushing. Open that hip. Now it feels a little crazier, right? But I want this top hip to not roll back. Keep it forward. So you're fighting that. Boom. Last one. Nice work all the way down. All you have to do here, my friends, is open and close. But I want those toes to come up. So just open and close. Good. Open. It's a break. But this bottom leg is pushing into the ground. That knee is pushing into the ground. So it's still getting some activity here. Big breath. Nice work. Press. Squeeze. Really work that top leg because it's warming up for its chance. We're going to flip around in 3 and 2. Just isometric on the bottom. Nice work. Flip over. We do it again. If you don't need to look, you can flip to the other side of the room. But we're gonna do this together. Arm up, shoulder out, top hip over, and we go all the way. Let's go. Little arm massage just came in my head. Let's get down to business to defeat the shelves. All right, all the way up. Apologize for that, but I don't. It's a 6 song. It's a really good song. Open. I know these are beautiful. I know you're like, whoa, I'd love to do these at the gym. You should, because then people will know you really care about your hip health. Pull this hip over, here we go. All the way up. Not only will you see these in physical therapy, and I mean good physical therapy, you're going to see a lot of athletes doing this. Because it is a gnarly way to work parts of your glutes all together. Start to choreograph parts of your body that don't love to always work together. And hit some smaller muscle groups that we tend to miss all the way down when we're doing some of our hypertrophy and power work. Knee down, top leg lifts. This is your little mobility finisher, giving that hip a little love, but press this bottom leg down. I want the outside of that hip to still be active. Nice work. Boom. Try to really push this knee back, back, back. Good. Shaking's good. If you're just resting here, that's fine. 3, press that bottom hip down. 2 and 1. We did it. Rest. Take a second. We're gonna come all the way down to lying. I'm gonna imagine I'm on the beach because my shoes left sand all over this mat, so I'm kind of feeling it, you know? Laying flat on the mat, walk the shoulders away. If you don't know what I mean, I want you to anchor the hips, lift the shoulders, and let them move about 1 inch up, 1 centimeter up. Whatever it feels right to give your spine some more space, so a little bit more love. Pull one knee into the chest, the other foot is bent on the ground. Just hold it there for a moment. Don't pull too tight. Try not to add any tightness here. Just give it a little half circle out to the side, then back to the center. So just making a little circle with that hip, getting it a little bit looser here. And then next time you're back in the center, we're gonna pull that knee in, grab behind the thigh, and then straighten the leg. When you get to straight, flex the foot, then point the toe again, and then soft bend the knee. We'll do a few of those. So straight and pointed, then flex when you get close. So as the leg starts to straighten, that's when we flex the foot and get that little bit more energy. We'll do one more like that, and then you're gonna hold that flexed foot and just draw it in towards you. Pressing the other leg down, getting some tension there by kind of pulling those hips apart. And then soften that knee, put the ankle over the other knee, and then just let the hip fall out. If this is enough of a stretch for your hip, leave it here, totally cool. If you want a little bit more, you can walk that other foot in more and hang out. I'm starting to wiggle my hips side to side just to loosen up the low back. I'm going to bring some more energy back to my ribs. Make sure they're not flaring all the way out to take away from the stretch. And then in this position, I am going to let my hips start to drift a little further with control, only what you can control. So if you feel your back pull in a little, that just means your body doesn't quite trust this movement yet. So give it some time, let things open up. We don't want to force anything, especially when our body's feeling a little bit vulnerable, right? A little bit fight or flight. Nice work. Last one. And go ahead and safely, softly bring that knee in, set it down, other knee into chest, and we can start those easy circles again. So nothing crazy. That was a doozy, huh? That was tough. That was exciting. I love workouts like that. So fast, so powerful. You get a good pump. You know you got some good volume in. Let's go for those hamstring kicks. Straight, pointed toe, flex that foot, point the toe, soft bend. Keep the tension. Keep control of that quad and the hamstring. You know, we still did 3 rounds of both heavy deads and squats. We got some good swings in there, so you're working the hinge. We got good quads and lots of glutes, and we did it pretty quick and pretty exciting, yeah? Take that leg over the other leg. I love just showing different ways you can work out, different ways you can move your body, build strength, build power, build endurance. And then once you find the ways you really like, we start to repeat them, we start to get better. And then some days we just move because we need to move, right? I just need to move today. Move those hips side to side. And then gently come back to your center. Pull both knees into the chest. And you can start a little circle here, massaging that low back, maybe taking it back the other way. And eventually give yourself a nice big hug with the core nice and angled and arched here. Start to rock and roll yourself up. If that feels impossible, don't worry about it. But let's work on it in the future, yeah? Let's move ourselves over, find ourselves in that all-fours position once again. Curl the toes and push the heels back. If you can stay on your mat for a little bit longer, please do. If not, clean up your weight so you can live in your space. And I will see you on the mat very soon. I'll take this because I'm sweaty. See you later. Bye.